Welcome to Santos Brothers Eat, Food Worth Mentioning.
Where Chef Jeff and his brother Kenny talk about their amazing adventures eating and tasting food that is so incredible, they have got to just share it with the world.
My mouth is salivating already.
All right, everyone, welcome back to Santos Brothers Eats. I'm Kenny Santos. I'm here with my brother Chef Jeff Santos. How we doing, Jeff?
Not too bad. And yourself, Ken?
I'm doing really, really good. And this is
awesome.
This is a podcast. We're going to talk about food worth mentioning, and we're going to be talking about, we made another visit to Hillcrest Mall to the Street Eats Market. That's what it's called, right? The Street Eats Market?
It is Street Eats Market. Yeah, that is it.
Yeah, so they're going strong every weekend, rain or shine. Friday to Sunday. You go to Street Eats, you can find them on Instagram, or, they have a website, but thank goodness for doing these fun things. And
that's right. And like you said, rain or shine or cold. It's January, actually February now, but when we went, it was January, and it was like negative, I think it was negative 8 or 10 when we went there. And it's still currently in the negative double digits these past weekends.
Yeah, but it's still, it's still going on, and there's people still visiting, and there's a reason why people are still visiting Street Eats Markets, because the food is so incredibly amazing. And not only that, they have a great system on pre-ordering.
Yes.
So why don't we talk about that a little bit, Jeff? How do we pre-order? What do we do?
Yeah. So in order for you to pre-order, is you go on their main website, and they have all the vendors. So right now on their website, and on the top it says Six Spice Rack, the Arepa Republic, Born to Eat, El Bosco, and there's about 9 more. And they each say click to order online. And
what's the website, Jeff? Hold on a second.
It is Street Eats Market. So all one word, streeteatsmarket.com.
Excellent, yeah.
And just scroll down, and you'll see all the vendors that are available. Most of them say click to order online. Some also only say curbside pickup only. Mm-hmm. So basically what you do, you put your and there's one that also says, there's 2 that say walk-up orders. So it's a mixture of curbside, order online, or even walk-up.
Yes, and you can walk up. Mm-hmm. But remember, it's one of those types of events that's, we're doing our best to be socially distanced. So I'd say if you can, pre-order it. You don't even have to leave your car if you don't want to.
No.
Pre-order.
Yeah, that is right. So when you order online, you pick what you want. There's some areas to customize. Like, for example, Diana doesn't like cilantro, and sometimes not green onions. So depending on what it is, we will specify no green onions or no cilantro, or you customize any way you want. You pay for it in advance and credit card. And then when you get there, there's about, I think, 10 or 15 designated curbside pickup spots. You park in your spot, either call or text them and tell them what spot you're on. You give them your order number. And then with a few minutes, you'll see them come out of the truck, and they come to your spot, and they just verify your order. And then you either leave your trunk open or your back door, or you just wait for them, and they can hand it to you that way.
Yeah. And it's all taken care of for you on the email that comes out. All the instructions are there, but basically you order at Street Eats Market, you're going to get an email with instructions. You show up, just like Jeff said, there's, especially now at times, just because it's so cold, not everyone's sticking around. So it's easy to find a parking spot. One of those designated spots, you sit in there. And my recommendation is that if you want to eat at the festival or at the market, get out of the designated parking spot where people are picking up foods. Park somewhere else. That's what we did, actually.
Yeah,
we picked up our food, and then we kind of wanted to eat together, but we also wanted to be socially responsible, and we did keep our distance. We traded some food, and you'll see a picture. We actually went to a far end of the parking lot, and we backed up. Our cars were probably 8-10 feet apart, right, Jeff? What do you think?
That's right. Yeah, I'm looking at the picture now. Yeah, 18 feet apart. Yeah.
Yeah,
and then I'm sitting in my trunk. Ken's in the backseat of the RAV, and we're eating, and we're socially distanced.
Yeah, and it's a way for us to, share a meal together, but also be responsible and do that properly. And so we're able to do that. And so, should we just talk about the food that we ate, Jeff?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
I want to lead it off, and
go ahead.
one of my most favorite, I think it's one of your favorite food trucks is Six Spice Rack.
Yes.
Six Spice Rack. They have just a monster lineup and really, really awesome and good food. And do you know the story behind them, Jeff, or no?
I actually don't. Do you?
Actually, I was just doing a little bit of research, basically, and basically they were a father-son duo. Some Indian food. Actually, they had a nonsense T-Dot's nonsense food truck.
Oh, is that theirs originally as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, wow.
And
okay.
they, I remember they have awesome food, and it's a fusion truck. It's another one of those fusion trucks with an East Indian kind of flair to it. And what really reaches out to me is I believe that they showing at the Mac and Cheese Fest. They didn't actually showcase their surf and turf mac and cheese at the Mac and Cheese Fest. They showcased their butter chicken mac and cheese. Have you had that, Jeff?
If it's from Nonsense, then yes, I have. I remember you're right. They if they're Nonsense originally, I've seen them. I've actually had their food many times at various food trucks.
Now, now, if I'm incorrect, I'm gonna have to edit this out. But is Six Spice? Are they the ones that made the Cinnabon?
Yes, they are.
Oh my!
Yeah,
goodness. So good.
Yes, the Cinnabon stack. That's right, Cinnabon stack. Yeah,
basically a cinnamon roll with it's like a cinnamon roll on steroids. Wasn't there bacon or ham or anything? Or
there was bacon on it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's Wolf. Man, that's so
it's vanilla ice cream, whiskey caramel sauce, score crunch, smoked bacon bits on a soft Cinnabon. And that's when they were pivoting because they wanted to be part of this I think ice cream festival or something like that. And because they're a savory truck, they decided, you know what, let's try something different. And they came up with this amazing concoction. Yeah, it was the ice cream festival. Yeah. And because they don't do desserts normally, the chef there said, you know what, let me try this thing. And we loved it. We actually went there just for this item.
Absolutely. And it's such a good meal. I mean, I remember when you described it, I was thinking to myself, gee, I really wish that I tried that. And I believe if you guys want to check it out, this is episode 13 of season 1, Street Eats Market Ice Cream Festival.
There we go.
Check that out there when Jeff talks about that. But I had their surf and turf mac and cheese, their lobster mac and cheese. As far as the mac and cheese goes and how it tasted, I actually remember eating their butter chicken mac and cheese, which is very, very good. Well, do you remember, Jeff, how that tasted, by the way?
I'm a great fan of butter chicken. And if I remember correctly, this had the true taste of butter chicken, but then it balanced it out with the mac and cheese itself. Both mac and cheese and the butter chicken were amazingly good, like on their own, but together they're just delicious.
Yeah, and I wonder if Six Spice still offers that, because I would love to have that once again. It's good. It's really good. They might not, just because they have the surf and turf mac and cheese, which basically it's a lobster mac and cheese. It's very, very good. The mac and cheese is good, and of course they add that lobster in that. And then I guess what is the surf part? Is that the bacon? Is that the surf?
Yeah.
Or sorry,
the turf part. Yeah.
Yeah. The surf part.
That's probably the bacon.
And yes, the bacon. So and what's interesting is this: a lot of times, lobster is a more subtle flavor. It's not like crab where it's like really strong, and bacon's a strong flavor. You think, well, maybe the bacon might overpower that lobster. It doesn't really happen. This is a solid dish. It presents well. You're going to see the pictures on the Instagram feed. And it's something that is going to be a hit every single time. If you try it, you're not going to be disappointed that you had it. Would you agree with me on that, Jeff?
Oh, yeah. No, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly right.
Now, some of you may remember, but I actually ended up trying what is it called? They're crab cakes. They're chili lime crab cakes. And those are so good. And I actually like their crab cakes more. So
nice.
If I go back to Six Spice, I shouldn't say when I go back to Six Spice, I'm probably gonna be eating their crab cakes, even though their lobster mac and cheese is so good. And by the way, that's episode 24. I remember eating those crab cakes with your son Dylan. So it's episode 24 of season 1, Street Eats Market in Richmond Hill.
Okay.
I would give the mac and cheese, it's really good. And I just can't give it a 9. I have to give it an 8.5.
All right,
There's
that's
better
fair.
macs and cheese out, and 8.5 is so high, right? But when you're comparing it to places like Basil Box or Dope as Duck, they're the ones that score the nines and the 10.
Yes.
And my goodness, I'll tell you, Six Spice Rack, they just have good food. I can't wait to eat there again. Like that,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's almost unfair because when we go to these places, we always have a favorite truck, but we always want to try something else. And sometimes when we try another truck, it's not as good. And then when we come back to another festival and they're there, we're like, oh wow, well they're back again. And even though we think we won't have them soon enough, then all of a sudden, if they're there, we'll have them again. It's I don't
Yeah.
know. It's sort of weird, that circle of life. It's like, oh, we want to try other food, other trucks, but then when we see them, it's like, oh yeah, they're so good. Like we got to have them again.
Oh my goodness. Like, have you had their crab cakes, Jeff, or no?
I don't think so, because I do like crab cakes, but for me, I would rather get something else from a
Okay.
food truck than just crab cakes. So yeah.
All right. I recommend those. Those are very, very high on the list. They're easily a walk and eat type of food. So
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
just their cakes are extremely, extremely good. They're chili lime. They're not that chili though, Jeff. So don't worry about the
Okay.
spice. Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. So what would you
Okay.
rate the
Good.
mac and cheese, Jeff? What would you read the surf and turf mac and cheese?
I think the same thing, 8.5. Like the portion that you gave myself and Diana to share, there was a nice big piece of lobster there. I do remember that. And oh yeah, a nice lardon of bacon was there too. And oh yeah, just taste wise, the mac and cheese was delicious.
Yes. Yeah. So you can't go wrong with ordering that. And if they're ever at a food truck festival that we're at, I'm going to know that if I don't like anything else, or if I'm not excited about somewhere else, I could always go to Six Spice and get a meal that I'm very happy with.
Yeah.
So yeah. And so and now they had a donuts out of that same truck, right, Jeff?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So another reason why we went on that weekend, I guess they partnered up with Beignet Toronto. Now, Beignet, for those of Beignet Shoppe is Beignet is, if you think of Beignet, you think of donuts, but I just did some research here. And a beignet is different than a donut. Beignets are, so when you think of donuts, you usually think of a circle with a hole in it, or like a jelly-filled donut or a Boston cream donut. Beignets are typically only square, and they're deep fried. Then there's a bit more yeast and less eggs, so that makes them a bit more lighter. So they're called a tasty little pillow of fried dough.
Mm.
Yeah, they were here for limited time. And we discovered that the weekend that we went was the last weekend we were there. So that's why we went to Hillcrest that weekend. But I'm on their Hillcrest, the streeteatsmarkets.com right now. They're actually going to be back this weekend.
Yeah.
So February 12th.
Yeah. And I didn't even realize they're together because I had pre-ordered from the Beignet Shop and from Six Spice.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize they were out of the same truck. But man, they tasted good. Now, they offered a whole bunch of stuff over there, but you ended up, we're going to lead into dessert just because I'm the one that's brought up the Beignet Shop.
Yeah.
I got basically their 4-pack of, I guess, regular beignets, and basically it's just the powdered sugar and you have a choice of dipping sauce. I ended up getting the blueberry ginger dipping sauce. I think the other choice was a strawberry something else.
Yeah, it was spiced strawberry.
Yeah, so I got the blueberry ginger. And as far as beignets go, I think there was like 4 of them for like $7 or something like that.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
So.
And you had a chance to taste it. What do you think, Jeff? I mean, it's just fried bread,
It's just fried bread. Yeah, I actually liked it. Yeah, it was just fried bread, sweetened a bit. And they were still nice and hot, even though we had the main course beforehand when we got to the beignets, because we sort of kept them insulated.
Yeah.
They were still hot, and they tasted really good.
Very, very good. Very, very good. You actually had a special beignet that you shared. It's called OMG.
That's right. And on the description, it was a larger beignet, and it had dark chocolate almond toffee cheesecake stuffed inside, and then topped with powdered sugar, cocoa powder, and a Nutella espresso dip. Now, so we'll have a picture of it.
Yes,
to show you guys.
Was that piped in, Jeff? You think
the cheesecake? Yeah. So the actual cheesecake part was stuffed in, and I think they offered a dollop on the side, as well as the Nutella espresso dip as well. Like and on the side as well.
Okay, so I ended up tasting that. The piece that I have, was that a third? Because I didn't.
I believe so. Yeah.
I'll tell
Yeah.
you, that tasted really, really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
And I love sweets, and I love, just a decadent amount of chocolate and caramel or whatever was on there. It was so good. And actually, I think it would have been perfect if I had two of those bites. Almost I almost think if you had a whole one on your own, that might be a little bit too much after a meal.
Oh yeah.
So I think it'd be perfect, if you're sharing a meal with someone, if you shared one of those, that's a good dessert. I mean, really. Yeah. I give that a 9, a really solid 9. It's a really good dessert.
Yeah, me too. I think actually for me, I think I give 8.5. I think the reason why is because your beignets were fresh, because that's how they traditionally are. I think the ones that they make for these special ones, they might have done it in the morning, or maybe they had some, like they do it every so often, because they have to let them cool a bit in order to stuff with the cheesecake. So I wouldn't say it was stale, but it wasn't as fresh as your beignets were. Like, they were still good, but I honestly enjoyed yours a bit better, only because of the freshness side of it.
I never considered that. That's interesting. Okay, so you give it an 8.5. I really liked it. I really liked it. Yeah, so I recommend that. They'll be there. I guess by the time this gets published, it'll actually be the Monday after. But it seems going to be a pseudo-permanent fixture over at Street Eats Market. So I don't think it'll be your last chance, because
no,
so they are the Beignet Shop out of the 6 Spice Rack food truck.
That's right. And just let you know, everyone know as well. So they have, they also, if you want a sweet one, they have it's called Perfect Matcha. So it's fresh off the fire beignets dipped in matcha glaze and powdered sugar and white chocolate curls. And they also offer a savory beignet, which is basically their version of chicken and waffles. So it's a fried chicken in the beignet itself. So yeah, so when you go to streeteatsmarket.com, click on Beignet Shop, and you'll see their full menu listing.
You know what? I forgot to mention that. Yeah, they actually make sandwiches out of those beignets, and the whole thought of that is absolutely mind blowing. I think that would make some really good. And so, is this like fried chicken? Is that what's in there, Jeff?
Yep.
Oh my goodness!
I know. Yeah.
Another and geez, it's out of the 6 Spice Racks truck, so it's good food.
It is, yeah.
It's so good, right? So, just a great combo. But what did I shared some mac and cheese with you. What did you end up sharing with me?
So we went to a truck called La Novella, and they are. I had the site up. I forgot what background they are. La Novella.
Latin Fusion Experience. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Latin Fusion Experience. And so they had tacos. And like Ken said, we wanted something that's easily shareable. And Diane is a great fan of tacos. And we got the K-pop taco, which is beef ribeye with carrots, cucumber, cilantro, and their cilantro crema. And we assumed that with the word K-pop, that it might have been like a Korean spiced beef. And I wouldn't say it was a truly Korean spice, but it's inspired by it. There was a bit of sweetness, just a bit of heat, but it was delicious. And there was 3 portions for $15, and you had one. And so, what you think of it, Ken?
Well, I was actually eating the other thing first.
Oh, okay.
Those were the tostones. I had those first, and then I had this taco, the K-pop taco.
Right.
And I remember just stopping and saying, "These tacos are spectacular," and they are. It was so good, like that. Nice. I remember eating that beef and thinking, wow, this is really, really good, because you never know how good or bad it's going to be. It just looks like a taco. So you never know.
Exactly right.
So that's something that I would get again in a heartbeat. I'm glad that you guys got that. Really, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. And Diane enjoyed it really well. So did I. And just to let everyone know that they have a huge taco menu. They have carnitas. They have adobo chicken. They also have a vegetarian with black beans and plantains, Baja chicken, La Bamba, which is Argentinian shrimp, a deep fried fish pad thai, and then a fried chicken taco as well. Wow! So that's their taco menu. But I when I go to, like we said before, we go to food trucks, we want to try something different. And I got a Tostonewich. And I believe you mentioned tostones for another truck, didn't you, Ken? When you and Dylan went?
Yeah, when we and Dill, so again, that's back in episode 24, the Richmond Hill Street Eats Market. We ended up going to, it was a Cuban truck. I can't remember right now, but that's where we had
El Bosco?
Possibly. So we had that as a tostones. First time I've had it. Basically like this, like you take plantains that are, and you kind of make them into almost pancakes or something like that.
Yes. So for those who don't know, a plantain, think of a larger sized banana.
Yeah.
And the actual flesh of the banana is a bit more tougher because it has a lot more starch. And the only way you can't eat a plantain raw, you have to it has to be cooked or par cooked at least.
Yeah.
Because it's just that tough. And the tostone, I think tostone, as Ken was saying, traditionally you slice the plantain about an inch and then you flatten it a bit, and then you deep fat fry it. And then from there you can season it either sweet or savory. So what La Novella did, they actually, instead of cutting it into discs like the natural shape of the plantain, from what I'm seeing, they actually sliced it on the length side.
Oh.
So they actually got strips of plantain and they weaved it together and deep fried that. So that's how they got sort of the larger sandwich shape.
That sounds like hard work.
Yeah. It
so
does.
You like a mandolin or something, right? To weave
mandolin or a slicer or someone that has a very sharp knife and good knife skills.
Wow.
But yeah, a slicer or mandolin to do it fast. Mm-hmm. That's how I would do it. And yeah, so a tostone is the discs, I don't know if it's trademarked, but they have tostone witch.
Yeah, they have a couple different ones. They have a chicken one, it looks like, a beef one, and a pork one. And of course, just from the name of it, you end up getting the pork one, right? It's called lechona. Listen to this. Roasted pork belly confit.
Oh, yeah.
And some people, they don't know what confit is. What does that mean, Jeff?
Confit basically is that you're actually cooking whatever item it is usually in its own fat. So like duck confit will be cooked in duck fat. Pork belly confit will be cooked in a bit of the pork fat, but of course a bit more oil as well. And there's like garlic confit, but garlic doesn't produce its own oil, so you need like olive oil. But basically it's cooked slowly in its own fat.
So just the thought of it, I am so glad that you got that. Just reading that roasted belly confit, like how could you not get that? Like it's just, if you read that, you're like, yeah, I'm gonna have to go to this truck. I'm gonna have to get that because just the thought of that is incredible. Yeah, so good. And it comes with some lettuce, tomato, some carrot and cucumber.
Yeah,
I guess
that's right.
The cilantro because is that right? Because Diana doesn't like it.
Yeah, well, actually, the cilantro we didn't go on the tacos. I just had mine tostone witch as is.
Okay.
And it was pretty big, like size wise. I was happy with the portion we got from it.
Nice.
And like I said, it was like slices of plantain on either side, and in the middle was the pork belly confit and everything else. And for me, it was different. Would I get it again? Maybe not. I think the plantain had to be seasoned just a bit more, like the actual plantain itself.
Yeah, there should be more salt on that. There needs to be salt. And like whatever other seasoning you'd like, but certainly salt. And there was nothing wrong with the tostone witch. The problem was it just got outclassed by the taco. The taco just stole it.
Oh, for sure.
So that's all that happened. It's not like we were disappointed with that particular tostone witch. It's just that the taco tasted so much better.
That's right.
And we probably go visit that place again. Just looking at their different tacos makes like their pad thai tacos sounds so good. I mean, actually,
it does.
Stuff. And yeah, they have a shrimp taco. All of it, man. I'd go back there in a heartbeat. Yeah. So basically, I guess we should rate did we rate the taco?
I don't think so, but I'm pretty sure you're gonna give it a high score.
The tacos that gets a 9 from me. That gets
awesome.
Yeah.
Well deserved 9. Yeah, I think 9 all around.
How about the lechone, the tostone?
Lechone, tostone witch. I'd give it again. I give it 7, only because for me the plantain needed to be a bit more seasoned itself. Everything else in the middle was delicious, The plantain, the part that held it together, just needed a bit more seasoning.
Yeah, I'll give it a 7.5. But yeah, good food. I'd visit them again. So it was a great weekend. One, because I got to see my brother, even though it was 6 feet away, 6 feet away. And then of course we got some good food. So it was just a great weekend of eating food worth mentioning. If you're getting value from our podcast, if you listen to what we're talking about and you actually go eat the food, or even if you just like the recommendations, we invite you to do something simple. Just like, subscribe, share, a comment, leave us a rating, wherever you listen to it. It really helps us get the word out. It's a way for you to support our podcast. You can do so for free. Isn't that right, Jeff?
That is right. And then until next time, remember this quote from Julia Child: people who love to eat are always the best people.
Yes, and that, of course, includes my brother, Chef Jeff Santos, and I'm his brother, Kenny Santos, and you as well, if you love to eat food worth mentioning. Thanks a lot, everybody.
All right, take care. You've been listening to the Santos Brothers Eat.
Food worth mentioning.
I might have that next time I go there.
Like, it's so good. It's so good.